Hello everybody, welcome back to Frontier Patriot for another lovely chew and chat with my beautiful co-host, Justine Dorn / future wifey, and my name is Ron Rayfield, of course. And today we have what smells delicious, an apple pie.
It smells absolutely amazing in here. So this morning we got some spam in our mailbox from Macy's advertising their perfume sale.
Oh yeah,
their perfume sale for Christmas. I was looking through the pages, I was like, who cares, man? The best dang perfume you can get is apple pie. Just rub that. Rub it all over you. It smells so good in here. It smells like cinnamon, warm apples, smells like that crust.
And pine, smells like spruce.
Smells like pine, smells like cranberries a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, it smells so good.
And the smoke from the fire, it's the most perfect place to be when it's cold outside.
You know, it's
happiness in your nose.
I'm not a winter person. I like the warm seasons, but it's moments like these that bring me comfort and peace with it being cold outside.
Yes.
It's lovely. And what else is lovely? This pie.
Yes,
and
so are you.
Thank you. I cannot wait for you to try it, Ron.
Alright, well let's get right into it. Before we go any farther, don't forget, if you want to see Justine make this delicious looking pie, please go over to our main channel. That's Early American. Over there we cook it.
And here we eat it.
And here we eat it.
Let's do that.
And review it.
Oh, he's about to review my recipe. Okay.
Oh yeah, I better be careful what I say. This ain't a historic one. This is Justine's own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is my first time making apple pie with what is essentially whole wheat pie crust.
This is the wheat that you got from the fort, right?
Yeah, from Fort Deschard.
So
our friends Jason
and Jennifer Dunson.
Yeah, they grow this wheat, this heritage wheat that they think this is the variety of wheat or the closest that we can get in modern times to the kind of wheat that was growing here in St. John County and right across the river in the 18th and early 19th centuries. So this might be what an apple pie actually looked like in the 1820s in St. Genevieve, Missouri. Wow, he just cracked his knuckles for this. He's about to go in.
Gotta have my drink.
Wait, what is that?
That's milk.
Who said you could drink milk today? Run!
They said I could, right?
Run, no! Oh, I'm not getting any sleep tonight.
I haven't had milk in a month.
Lies. He had it last week.
Alright, let me dig into this.
And review it.
Okay, so right off the bat, it looks beautiful. The crust is crusty, which is nice.
Ah, crusty crust.
It's still hot. Look at that steam coming off there.
You probably can't see it on the camera, but there is some steam coming off
It's smoking.
There. It's smoking. Don't burn yourself. Mmm. Comforting goodness.
I love how soft the apples are.
Yes.
I don't like apple pies that have hard apples in them. So
yeah.
These were what, yellow or green apples you used?
These were green apples.
Green apples?
Now these are actually Granny Smith apples. It's the only type I had. Not a period correct variety of apple, but everyone nowadays says you have to cook with Granny Smith apples for apple pie. I actually disagree. I would not even put it in the top 5 best apple pie baking apple.
I did eat one by myself earlier. It was kind of hard.
Well, no, the problem is when you cook them, they become mushy.
Oh.
Yeah, in my opinion, they become pretty mushy compared to the more historic varieties. I actually think the best apple you can get from the store, in America at least, for baking is Jonathan apples. They're the red ones, the little red ones.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, they are. They hold up pretty well when you cook them. They're really, really good for apple pie. So I would recommend. I would not recommend Granny Smith apples personally for apple pie, but you know, everyone's different. That's why all of us, our apple pies taste differently.
Now these are holding up though. I think because you cut them into bigger pieces, so you compensate it for that fact of it being mushy. If you would have chopped them up, you know, like diced them up like some people do their apples, then it would just become applesauce, I think.
Yeah, it could have become applesauce.
Well, this is very good. It's very simple.
Yes.
There's nothing crazy going on here with different flavors. It's just some cinnamon, sugar, and apples, right?
Yes, it is. And I'm super appreciative that I have these apples. Michael in the chat donated these apples to us, so thank you.
Well, I would give this my honest opinion. Just being honest.
You better choose wisely what you're about to say. This and drinking milk, you better be nice.
I would give this an 11. I was going to give it a 10, but you threatened me with that.
11 out of what?
Out of 10.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. I'm glad you like it.
No, seriously though, this is good. Apple pie don't need to be some crazy thing with caramel and nuts. I mean, sure, that's great, I guess, if you're into that, but just your basic apple pie.
Yeah.
There's no corn syrup in it. There's no, like I said, no caramel, no nuts, no fancy junk. It's just an apple pie.
Just
don't
an
overthink
apple pie. As American as apple pie.
And this is the only pie that I like warm, you know.
True.
I love cold desserts, especially pies. But apple pie, if it's warm, I like it.
You have to eat it warm.
But all the other ones, I want them cold. That's just how I am.
That's very true. And I feel like I'm eating something healthy here because I got fruit and it's whole wheat. I don't even feel guilty right now. Okay, now to go back a little bit, did you all watch last week's episode of the Chew Chat where we did a Nutcracker painting competition? Yeah, they're on the mantle right now. Ron's is the green one, mine is the red, white, and blue one. Apparently, I lost.
Yep.
By
finally.
a landslide.
I took you down, finally. Thank you for all you who showed your loyalty to I
can't believe this. I even had friends come to me and say, you know what, Justine, I honestly voted for Ron. What? Well, don't tell me that. But anyway, yeah, so Ron won by a landslide. The last I looked.
70 to 30, I believe.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But you know what's hilarious? You told me that last time that we did a competition, it was with the pumpkin carving. Mm-hmm. You put my name first in the poll, and then your name below it, and people were voting for me. But now you have a strategy where you think that if you put your name first and my name second, they vote for you. Because they just click the first thing that they see.
And thank you.
And sure enough, Ron won by a landslide. I don't know if this is really coincidence or if there's some psychological factor to this, or if I just lost fair and square.
I just did a better job.
I sound like a sore loser right now, but it is making me really curious.
Well, anyways, the punishment shall be, I'm going to pick a receipt, or I have picked a receipt, but I'm not going to tell her what it is. So it's kind of going to be like, what's that cooking show on Food Network where they had like that basket of ingredients, but they don't know what it is? Chopped.
Oh, yeah, chopped.
It's going to be like that. So she's not going to know what the recipe is or what I have for her to work with. And so it's all going to be a surprise.
Or what if instead...
I already got my decision made.
Okay. But hear me out.
You can't weasel your way out of this.
Hear me out, though. You said chopped. On the show Chopped, which is on the Food Network, it's a modern show, they give you a basket of ingredients and you have to assemble it. They don't give you a recipe. You have to assemble it. So what if instead of telling me to make a recipe, you just give me a basket full of extremely random ingredients and tell me that I have to make
You have to use all the ingredients.
I have to use all the ingredients and I have to make a receipt that could pass for being something from 1790 to 1830. Like, it doesn't have any modern ingredients in it at all.
I could change it up a little bit. I could just not show you the recipe and give you those ingredients, and then...
Yeah, okay, it's up to you.
But I already bought some of them.
Oh, okay.
That's what's in the back of the storage area, yeah. Well, anyways, let me think on that.
Okay.
Anyways, that video will probably come out next weekend or something. We're busy this coming weekend with the Christmas market at the fort, at Fort Richard. That is from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., and that is...
Saturday,
December 9th.
Yep, so these candles here, I've been a busy bee making these hand-dipped 100% beeswax candles. Oh, beeswax smells so good. Apple pie, beeswax candles, oh my gosh, it's so good. And the wick is 100% spun cotton as well. So I'll be selling these for $5 a pair. Comes with these two nunchucks here.
Hey, whoa, watch it.
Yeah, they're like nunchucks. But anyway, yes, you can come to Fort Richard. That's over in Illinois, right across the river from us. And that's a fort from, what, 1730? 1720?
Yeah, the original one was 1722. I believe it was wood. And then it was rebuilt with stone in the 50s.
It's old.
It's old.
It's
300 years old.
She real old. So yeah, I'm selling these, and Ron is going to be selling some of his woodworking, like boxes and candlestick holders and things like that he's made. And I will see you there, hopefully. Buy my candles, please. Please help me.
It'll be a good time. Speaking of a good time, we had a good time this past weekend with the Christmas parade here in St. Genevieve. Thank you to the fans who came out to spectate at that parade and meet us and say hi. It was a great time. It was pretty cold, but the music was great, and everybody... had fun marching. We had a good turnout with our group. marching in the parade. Back to this apple pie, though.
Okay, apple pie.
I really do like this.
Well, I'm glad to hear you gave it an 11 out of 10.
It seriously is an 11 out of 10.
Thank you, Ron.
But you know what? We should talk about apples.
I would love to talk about apples.
So, a little apple fun facts I have here for you. Did you know that the first apple orchard planted in America was in 1625?
Wow, that's the early 17th century.
That was, what is that, 400 years ago? Almost?
Something like that.
Woo-hoo!
1625?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It was planted by Reverend William Blacks, and that was just outside of Boston.
Cool.
Yep. Also, the oldest known apple variety in America, as far as the ones you can eat, is the russet.
Mm-hmm.
They're called, today we're calling Roxbury russet apples.
Roxbury russets, and guess what? We have, what is it, 4 or 6 of them?
I don't remember.
I don't remember off the
maybe
top
it's
of my
5.
Yeah, maybe like go in between. Anyway, we have
a handful of them.
Between 4 to 6 Roxbury russet trees planted at our homestead right now, which we're currently building. It's a work in process.
Yep.
They're only about 5 feet tall, maybe a little tiny bit taller. So they're not going to make fruit anytime soon, unfortunately. Maybe within 2 or 3 years, I'll get the first fruit off of them. So excited for that.
Yes. So apples are not native to America, but the crab apples are native.
Yes.
So all the other ones have come from Europe with the colonists.
So you're wondering, what the heck? What is a crab apple good for? Okay, crab apples. Well, first of all, you can't actually eat crab apples. People would have made cider out of crab apples, especially hard cider. You can also boil it down and get a vegetable-based pectin out of it, and you can use pectin for making jellies.
I didn't know you could do that.
So for making your own fruit jelly at home, you need pectin to thicken it up, or else it's just fruit soup, fruit juice. So you can get that from crab apples. And another reason why we have 2 crab apples also planted at our homestead right now is because they are excellent pollinators for other apple trees. You need a pollinator if you're planting an apple tree, or else it'll never make fruit. It's like you take a person and you want the person to have a baby, but if this person don't have another person to make the baby with, there ain't going to be a baby. Let me put it that way. Well, apple trees are the same way. They need another tree to make a baby with, aka fruit.
The birds and the bees of nature here.
Exactly. And so a crab apple can be that pollinator.
Yeah. Brings me to my next fun fact. We all know Johnny Appleseed, aka his real name John Chapman.
I did not know that.
He was notorious for traveling across the country and planting apple trees in orchards. You know, back then they say if there's unclaimed land, you could plant your orchard on it, and you would legally own that land in certain areas.
Oh my gosh!
Now, Johnny did not believe in grafting. He thought it was harmful to the trees. So he would just plant the seeds, so it grew probably similar to a crab apple. The apples were very bitter. They weren't the best for eating.
Wild apple trees.
Yeah, sure, you could eat them, but most people made cider out of them. And there is still some of his trees left today, and I believe it's Savannah, Ohio. Yes.
Wow, they're still alive?
Yes, Savannah, Ohio is where they are today, still yet.
Oh, I didn't know that they lived that long. That's really cool.
They have some trees that are 150 years old. So Johnny Appleseed, he lived from, I think he was born, in 1774, and he lived till 1845. And he traveled from Pennsylvania to Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, present-day West Virginia, and all the way up to Ontario, planting apples and spreading the gospel, the word of God.
Wow.
He's a very religious man. Now,
Ron presented a very interesting point here. Grafting. Grafting fruit trees. I think I broke a friend of mine's heart about 6 months ago because she was eating apples with me, and then she was keeping the seeds from eating the apples, and she was putting it in her pocket. And I said, "Why are you doing that?" And she said, "Because I want to plant them and have an orchard someday. And this is a really delicious apple, so I told her, I really don't want to break your heart, girl. But if you take the seed from an apple and you plant it into the ground, you will not get that apple." It is so weird. I know the concept of it is absolutely bizarre, but the trees, when you go to a grocery store and you buy an apple, the tree that made that apple comes most likely from a grafted apple tree. So what that means is you take a young tree and you take a branch that's been cut off from another apple tree that has the kind of fruit you actually want.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a tree that over hundreds of years has been selectively bred and grafted, whatever, to have the qualities and the taste that you want. And then you take the branch and you kind of like tie it onto the other tree, and eventually they will fuse together and they will grow together. I'm sure there's some chemicals you put on it, like some hormones. I'm not really sure about it.
I don't know.
Science. I don't know either. There's some science that happens.
Magic.
Basically magic. You say some words and sprinkle some dust and wave a wand. Exactly. And then that branch will grow, and that branch eventually becomes the tree as the tree gets older and older, 10, 20 years pass. And then any apples that grow on that branch are going to taste like the apples that the branch came from. Oh, that hurts to explain.
It's a tongue twister.
Grafting is so complicated. But anyway, the point is, like Johnny Appleseed, if you just take an apple seed from the fruit and you put it in the ground, you're going to get a wild apple. Mm-hmm. It's basically a crab apple. It's not going to taste good. It's going to be really, really small. It's going to be woody and dry, and you can make cider out of it. It's going to be bitter. It's not good. It's not a Granny Smith apple. It's not good. But you have to graft an apple tree in order to get the kind of fruit that you want.
I've even seen pictorials or illustrations of a branch being pulled down and then partially buried and let the other end of it stick up out of the ground.
Oh, yeah.
To start a tree that way, it will sprout roots. Now, you pretty much have to graft all fruit trees, don't you?
I think so.
If you want good fruit.
I'm not sure. There might be some trees out there that you don't have to. I'm not really sure. But here's another really cool point, too. That means that you can graft like 5 different branches from 5 different apple trees onto the base of a tree. And you can get an apple tree where one side of it makes Granny Smith apples, and then the other side makes Red Delicious apples.
That'd be pretty cool.
I've even seen trees out there that 1/4 of the tree will make like cherries, and then another 1/4 will make plums.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. If you graft the tree, it'll do that. It's weird.
Wow.
I'm not an expert, but it's complicated.
It is. Seems weird. It's not natural.
Technically, it's not natural. Natural.
It's forced.
Crab apples and wild apples are natural. You know. I mean, maybe you could get some delicious apples that do sprout up naturally on their own, but it's like so unpredictable that if you planted 100 of those apple seeds, maybe only 5 of them would come out being the kind of apple tree that you want.
I see.
So because it's so unpredictable, you might as well not do it.
Don't do it then.
Just don't do it. It's like drugs. Don't do it.
Yeah, they're bad. Which is a topic for another day, because they did have that back then too. They had little snuff boxes.
Oh my gosh, now we're totally changing the subject.
I'll have to do research on that, but that'd be an interesting topic. Tobacco and snuff boxes and all sorts of stuff. Anyways, we have something very important to talk about today.
We do?
You know what today is? Today is the 1-year anniversary that we have had Mish Mish for 1 year.
That's right.
Since we've rescued him from a cornfield outside a candy shop last Christmas time. He was skin and bones. He was a street cat. Somebody had dumped him. And yeah, it's been 1 year. I can't believe it.
We think he was dumped because
all he does is meow, as you guys know.
we found him. He came out of a cornfield and he just walked up to us. And he wouldn't leave us alone. He had no collar on him, nothing. He was skin and bones.
I was doing Santa pictures that day there at Candy's cabin there. And all the little kids were picking him up, wanting to take him home. And I was like, I hope somebody takes him home. And all the moms were like, no, leave the kitty alone.
We already have a cat. Or we have dogs. And we go alone.
And then maybe a half hour later, Justine comes up to me.
Hi, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Guess what? I got a cat now.
Yeah. He's in your truck.
Yeah.
What?
I took him and put him in Ron's truck. It wasn't even half an hour. It was like an hour later. The cat just wouldn't leave. And I felt so sorry for the thing. At first I thought, okay, why is this cat just hanging around us for an hour? and it wouldn't leave, and it kept on meowing. But then I went down to pet it, and I felt every single bone in that poor thing's body.
But he was nice, so we were kind of confused because most stray cats, at least the ones in town, are like
feral, mean.
Yeah, like
yeah. They don't, because they don't trust you. That's why. You know, they're trying to survive.
Right.
So anyway, where we found him, there's a cornfield, but behind the cornfield is a marina. And unfortunately, a lot of people in town dump their unwanted animals at that marina. I don't know why they do it. I think because there's no cameras out there.
It's out of sight.
It's out of sight, yeah.
It's just a boat ramp.
Exactly. So we took him to the vet. There is no chip in him. There's no collar. I made a post about him on the local Facebook group. No one claimed him. So we just think that he was dumped because he has he's a meower. I don't know how else to explain it.
What's a meower?
He meows non-stop. Okay, if you guys thought our rooster was bad with his constant crowing, you need to meet Mish Mish. He's just constantly meowing, and I wish he was here right now, but he's like an indoor and outdoor cat. He comes and goes.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy. We let him go outside. And we wish he was here for this segment. I called him right before we started, and he just didn't answer, so he's out living his best life.
He's out living his life. But you know what's funny? He never goes far. Like, it's like he knows what the property lines are somehow.
Yes. He's a very smart cat.
Yeah.
Cats are smart.
Cats are very smart. So, he never really leaves the property, but we have, what, like 4 acres here?
Yeah, 4 acres here.
4 acres here. That you know, the cabin is on, so he could be at the other end of the land, you know, doing whatever,
fighting off a fox or a dog, who knows.
No, don't say that.
Well, that one time he tried making friends with a fox.
Oh yeah, that one time he did. He wants to be friends with everybody.
Hey,
don't worry, nothing happened. He's fine.
I've got some fun facts about cats in early America.
Okay.
So, did you know that domesticated cats have been in America as long as horses have?
No, I did not know that. Oh yeah, random fact, horses are not native to the Americas.
And neither are domesticated cats. They came with explorers in the 1500s, and just like horses, they came with explorers in the 1500s. They got loose, they got bred, over and over and over, and voila, here we are. So cats would be on ships to help take care of rats and mice, because they spread diseases and stuff.
Yes.
And they also protect the food that you have on the ship
as well.
From the rats
and the mice.
Yes. And the same goes for in camp settings as well. Even the U.S. Army employed in the 19th century cats to protect the commissaries where they kept food and supplies. Because who wants your... I mean, this happened to us, unfortunately, about a month ago. We left something in our Jeep, and there was a mouse in there, and he chewed holes in my haversack. Yeah. So they'll eat things that aren't even food. So
yeah, they eat everything. Mice are incredibly destructive. You think they're so cute until they're in your house, and then they eat all your clothes and everything. They eat everything.
It's annoying. But also, Abraham Lincoln was an avid cat lover and is credited with being the first president to allow cats into the White House.
Oh, neat.
His 2 White House cats' names were Tabby and Ditsy, and they were gifts from the Secretary of State at the time.
Tabby is such a cute name for a cat.
He was even, it's even said here that he once rescued 3 kittens that were in General Grant's camp during the Civil War.
Wow.
Now, I'm sure other people have had cats around the White House back then. Every house would have, you know, been smart to have a cat, and they probably did because of mice and rats. You know, you don't want that in your house, even today, but back then there's less of weather-tight houses, so...
True, so more mice could get in. And I will say, the few anti-mice and rat solutions I've found from the 1800s and 1700s are very graphic. And they use chemicals a lot to get rid of mice, too. Oh, yeah. I don't remember the exact form off the top of my head.
Here's some mercury and some cheese.
No, but it's something like... Something to do with they would leave out a pot of, let's say, lime or something like that, and they would mix something sweet with it, so the mouse would eat the lime, and then the mouse would get really thirsty, so they would leave a pot of water next to it, and then the mouse would drink it, and then the mouse would like fizzle up inside and basically explode. Yes. So they knew mice were a very serious problem back then, and they did not care. There was no humane society, anything for mice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's all the cat fun facts I got. But yeah, they've been here, as long as we've been here.
I have another random fact too about pets. Did you know that pet collars go back to ancient Roman times?
Really?
Yeah, they had metal and they had leather pet collars for dogs. Yeah, especially for the big dogs. So for dogs and cats in ancient Roman times, they would have, because they have these murals, those mosaics on the floor, where you can actually see a dog that has a collar on it.
Okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, so people have been loving their pets for literally thousands of years. It blows my mind that we have this creature that doesn't speak our language at all.
No. And
we're 10 times the size of it, yet still it trusts us so much, almost as if we're family to it.
It's called a companion.
Yeah.
What, didn't Lewis and Clark have a loyal dog that went along with them?
They had a big black dog, and his name was Seaman. I believe he was a Newfoundland.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what those look like.
Yep, they have a lot of fur. Very high maintenance to comb all that out, by the way.
You'd have to have a lot of fur to survive that trip.
That's very true. It's a very big dog. Okay, he just went in for a second slice.
Number 3.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
You've been talking.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I tend to do that.
I'm telling you, this is 11.
I talk, Ron eats. That's the usual order of things.
Would you like to... No, I'll do it.
You know what? Also, speaking about animals, that cow is still at our property.
That's right. My dad went out there to go hunting the other day. And he's like, I'm trying to get this cow to get in my car. She's laying down out there. And he took a picture.
Well, there she is. Prime rib. That's what I'm calling her. She's wanting to get in the car, but I don't know if I can get her in there, but I'm going to try.
He was joking about that, but I mean, he was saying, like, this cow is so friendly, I just want to take her in my car and take her home.
And butcher her.
No!
That's what he said. That's what he told me.
No, he's not allowed to do that. It's my property, and he ain't allowed to butcher my Dolly. I named her Dolly. Yeah, and he named her Brisket.
Brisket.
But anyway, this mysterious phantom cow is still at our property. I just don't know what to do about it. I guess the next time we go out there, we will have to knock on doors.
Yeah. I really hope she's crawling under the fence. I mean, she's not skinny by any means.
No, she looks healthy.
But we don't want her to be separated and stuck over there.
Yeah.
That's not good. She don't even have a tag on her, so...
I know, it's really strange. She don't have a tag.
That doesn't help us with trying to figure out who owns her, because there's cows all over the place, and they got tags and stuff, so...
There is a stream out there, so she has a constant source of water, and there's a big grassy field, so she has food, but...
She's definitely eating, because there's poop everywhere.
There's poop everywhere in our front yard. I mean, there's like 50 cow patties out there, but... I mean, how is the guy not noticed that this cow is missing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Quite the investment to lose track of.
And yes, if you guys are wondering, do I want this cow? Of course I want to keep her, but she's not mine.
Right.
And the thing is, it's wrong to steal a cat or a dog, and it's very wrong to steal a cow because they're worth how much money? $1,000?
It depends. But yes.
They're worth a lot of money.
4 digits.
Yeah, they're worth 4 digits. So you can't just say, oh, I found a cow, I'm going to keep it. I mean, that's like going to someone's house and stealing their flat screen TV.
Right.
They're worth a lot of money, so we can't just keep it. We have to find out what's going on with this mysterious phantom cow.
I'm pretty sure I know where she's crossing at. There's only 2 strands of bob wire at that point. And I did see her with grass stuck to her front knees. So I think she is crawling under, but she likes being alone over by the home site for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess the grass is always greener on the other side, as they say.
It's weird. You can't see any neighbors from where we live.
Or any of the other cows. Sometimes our cows are visible, but they're not near the fence whenever she's over here, so she's completely separated from them.
She's completely separated. And then as soon as we see her, we turn our backs, and 5 minutes later, she's gone. Yeah. It's like she's disappeared. She's the phantom ghost cow.
She's the ghost of the cow that's been butchered and ate.
Oh no. Wouldn't she be a white cow, if not a black cow then? She'd be a ghost.
Good point. Well, hey, let's get into this week in history. This week
in history. Go! 3, 2, 1, go! Woo! This week in history, American history.
Tickle you.
Okay, proceed.
Okay. Okay, so December 3rd in 1775, the first official U.S. flag is raised. And now this is not the Betsy Ross flag. That was not raised until 1777. This is the Grand Union flag. I do have a video that I'm working on, and hopefully it comes out by the end of this month on the first American flag. So keep an eye out for that by the end of December. Next up, for December 4th, in 1674, Father Marquette builds the first dwelling, what is now known as Chicago. Now, officially, Chicago wasn't settled until, I think, the late 1770s or 1760s, perhaps. But 100 years prior, in the 1670s, the explorer, Father Marquette, builds a dwelling. So it could just be a little shack.
So he just lived out there by himself?
Yeah. Well, him and another fella came all the way down the Mississippi, and they made stops all around. I think they even came through St. Genevieve.
Doesn't Chicago mean smelly swamp in the Native American tongue?
It does. I don't remember which tongue that is, but yes, that is true. Next up, I have we're going to wish a happy birthday to a young gentleman named Chester Greenwood. He is an American inventor from Maine, and he was born in 1858, and he died in 1937. Any guesses to what he invented?
What's his name again?
His name is Chester Greenwood.
I got nothing.
And it has nothing to do with the invention, his name. Okay. But he invented the earmuffs that we know today.
Oh, the ones that keep you warm?
Yes, the fuzzy earmuffs.
Hey, I'll take it. That's a good invention, okay? And that also kind of led the way for other earmuff, like headphones, stereo headphones, and ear protection, and all that. So he was kind of the first. Before then, if your head was cold in winter, you would tie a scarf around your head, or you'd wear a hat.
Right.
There were no earmuffs.
It says here at age 15, he was tired of the itchy wool tied around his head, so he bent some wire into loops, attached them with a band, and had his grandmother sew wool pads or fur pads on it, and he made it earmuffs. And then at age 18, 3 years later, he got a U.S. patent for it, and that was in 1877 when he patented the earmuffs.
Genius.
Yeah, I never would have thought they were invented then. I thought these were like a 1930s, 40s kind of thing, 50 years later.
I think it's the kind of thing that literally everyone watching right now has never thought about twice in their whole life.
That's true. Earmuffs who?
Earmuffs?
What? Next up, we're going to wish a happy birthday to our 8th President of the United States, Martin Van Buren, born in New York in 1782 and lived till 1862.
That's a long life.
Yeah, 80 years old.
Very good.
Wow, that's pretty good for back then.
Yeah, and you could get to that age without any modern medicine. Just eat organic food.
Sometimes modern medicine is not the answer. Sometimes it just worsens things. Like when they play them commercials and they say, may cause rectum bleeding, may cause suicide thought, may cause
death,
arm to fall off. It's like, why would I want to take this?
Oh, and it's just an asthma medicine. Or like an eczema cream. And they say side effects include your eyes shriveling up in your head and falling out of your socket and rectal bleeding.
Do not take if you're pregnant, if you have a sore throat, if you've ever had the chicken pox, if you, I don't know. It's like,
if you are alive.
Check all these boxes.
I know. And then knowing me and my luck, I would get every single side effect.
I love this pie.
I'm glad you like this pie. I'm really glad that you do. I made it with love.
It's perfectly sweetened. Don't need to be any sweeter.
Okay. Noted.
And the spice is great too.
Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't have nutmeg in it. It just has cinnamon. I'm not a big nutmeg fan myself. I'm like a complete 180 from John Townsend's. You know, some people, they say that cilantro tastes soapy to them. To me, nutmeg tastes soapy. Is there anyone else out there that's like that, or am I just a freak of nature? Ron, does it taste like that to you?
It tastes like nutmeg to me.
To me, it tastes like I'm eating straight up ivory soap.
But I will say, I really only like nutmeg in my eggnog. I don't care for it in other things too much. On like a cake or something, it's good, but in pies I don't. But eggnog, I really love it in.
Okay. You know, I've never had eggnog before.
I thought we had it 2 years ago, but I can gladly make it again.
Oh no.
I'll jog your memory.
Are you gonna put extra nutmeg in it now?
I might.
Great, I'm sure I'll love it.
So maybe next week I'll have some nutmeg, or maybe the week. You know what? I'll wait till right after Christmas.
Sure.
Yeah. So that would be fun. We'll do that. We'll do a new nutmeg video because when we did the first one, we weren't doing chew chats yet. It was just kind of a one-off thingy.
Eggnog sounds like the kind of drink that a bear would drink before entering hibernation. It just sounds like pure protein and calories.
I mean, it's good.
Oh,
it is thick.
I'll have to take your word for it.
I make it good. I don't like it when it tastes eggy, and I don't do that.
Does it have raw eggs in it?
No, you cook the eggs.
Okay.
You cook them slowly.
Okay.
It's got eggs, it's got sugar, it's got the spices, cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg if you like it.
Up, you know.
You can put some vanilla in there if you like it. You can put you put milk or heavy cream depending on how fattening you want it to be. What else? You can put, if you're into drinking, you can put rum in it, or I guess you could put bourbon or something.
They did have eggnog in the 18th and early 19th centuries, and it was always alcoholic.
Yeah.
I can't find a single receipt where it wasn't alcoholic. I think it was just like a martini today. It's mandatory. It has to have alcohol in it. Well, there goes that slice. And this keeps very well. It'll still be good for another 2 days, even without refrigeration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll probably have another piece of that after dinner.
Oh my lord! Okay.
I'll take a break now.
That's a compliment. So I'm going to be seeing you guys on Saturday at Fort Duchard, I hope. I really hope someone buys my candles.
I hope somebody buys my boxes.
Yeah, I hope someone buys Ron's boxes.
They've been for sale for like 2 years now.
Oh, that's true.
Come on. They got dust on them.
Come on, guys. We're poor because we put all our money into building our house.
Well, the problem is we go to these events, these craft show events, and it's for your basic farmhouse stuff, unfortunately. So they don't really appreciate the historic type stuff that we do nowadays. I used to do that stuff, but I've changed to historic stuff because it's more funner and it's what I like. That's what I like.
You went to the light side instead of the dark side.
Yes, and so now I'm not selling as much, unfortunately, but this is the right type of event to go to with the kind of stuff that we have, this kind of merchandise. So hopefully people will find it attractive.
Plus, you don't just come there only for the shopping. They're also going to have a class on how to make holiday fruit trees.
Yeah, I did that one last year. That was
amazing.
That thing weighed 50 pounds.
It's amazing. And you get to keep the stand that you have to build it on. It's wood with nails stuck in it. So I have one last thing to talk about before we head on out.
Oh, what's this?
Okay, so...
Am I in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. Well,
I don't know anything about this.
You will be tonight after that milk goes through your system. But,
I won't be, but you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, I'll probably be passed out and then I won't even be able to yell at you.
Oh, good.
Because of that.
It works out perfect then.
So anyway, we've been replying to Christmas cards and that's been going absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for sending us Christmas cards. The address for that is in the About section of our channel. It's also in the description of this video, so check that out. We just have one card that I cannot read the return address on. Because... it's smudged.
They used a translucent envelope and some kind of stamp, and the stamp just bled inside this translucent envelope, so we cannot read the address at all. So if you recognize this card, please send us an email and give us your address, and we will send you a reply.
Yes, that's the only one so far that we haven't been able to translate.
Yes, there were a few that we translated, but that's okay. But this one, I cannot...
It's impossible.
I actually got it narrowed down to the town and the state and the zip code, but I cannot make out the numbers or the name of the street.
Right, that's important.
Yes, that's the most important part. The name really ain't that important. The physical numbers is, but I can't do it. It's just a smudge.
It's just like you wrote something in a Sharpie and then immediately smudged it with your finger. It's impossible. We can't read it.
Yes.
And thank you also for the 2 people that have included some stamps in your letters. That is a huge help. I think we've spent $150 on stamps so far, maybe even more. So that's kind of my whole Christmas budget. But anyway, thank you for the people that have mailed us a book of stamps or half a book of stamps. It really, really helps. And I hope all you guys that have written us get your letters back really quickly because we're responding to them the day we get them or the next day.
Right. And one more thing before we go, don't forget the Center for French Colonial Life here in St. Genevieve is where we sometimes work, or we work part-time at the Bolduc and the Lemaire House. They have a special promotion going on. If you go in there and mention you've seen us on Early American, they will give you a discount on the tour and a discount in their gift shop as well.
And do not be shy about it. If we sent your way, if we send them your way. Yeah. Wait, if we send you your way, if we send you them, if we send you their way, I don't know. You know what we're saying. If you go there and you be like, we heard it here, they'll give you a discount. Yeah, don't be shy about it, because it makes the boss put us in his good favor if he keeps like a list. He seriously keeps a list of the numbers of people that have come in because of us. So please don't be shy and not mention that you heard us on here. Because some people have told us that, hey, I didn't mention it just because I didn't want to get a discount. But, you know, yeah, exactly. So it puts us in good favor with our boss.
Yeah. They won't think you're trying to get a discount or something like that.
No.
You know, some people go in there and try to cheat you down. They're like,
I got this coupon from 1997.
I know your tag says $50. Would you take 15? No.
I'll haggle with you.
Yeah, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
But they're expecting you. They want to keep a tally of how many because they want to know who's watching.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's listening?
Yeah, they want to know who's watching, and exactly. So please come to St. Jen and support our town, and please buy my nunchucks. I mean candles. It really means so much to me. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys.
Thanks guys for watching. We love y'all. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Mostly watching and liking our videos. It supports us and makes our world go around. So thank you very much for that. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye guys. Take care. We love you.